I froze the moment I walked into the school gymnasium and saw him, my partner of 6 years, grinning at someone across the room. It wasn't the smile he reserved for me. It was a private, shared smile, like a secret handshake. My chest tightened, and my breath hitched. I moved closer, weaving past classmates I hadn't seen in a decade, my heart pounding. Who was this woman he looked at like I'd never existed? Her name was Melanie. She was my best friend in high school, my maid of honor, my confidant. Except I hadn't known she'd ever met my partner before tonight. She wore a dress that matched his tie, laughed at his jokes as though they were decades of insider humor. I wanted to introduce myself, as his partner, as Melanie's friend, but my mind shut down. I watched as they leaned toward each other, touching arms, eyes alight with something that wasn't friendship. A classmate tapped me on the shoulder. "Hey, Emily, it's so good to see you." I forced a smile. "You too." She looked past me, saw him with Melanie, and her expression flickered. She cleared her throat. "You know, everyone's talking about you guys." I blinked. "Talking?" She shrugged. "Well, you know how reunions go." I nodded, heart hammering. Then I turned and walked away, straight for the bleachers, and sat alone as the band began to play our old fight song. Memories spilled in. Pep rallies, homecoming, our senior portraits. I should have been enjoying this. Instead, I felt like a ghost in my own reunion. I tried calling him 3 times, but his phone went straight to voicemail. I texted him, "Meeting Melanie outside?" No reply. I scrolled through old photos of us, of the life we'd built, apartment hunt, adoption papers, late-night takeout runs. None of it seemed real anymore. Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. After the first hour, a small group of classmates drifted onto the dance floor. I followed them, hoping to distract myself. That's when I heard it, whispers behind me. "He's been seeing her for months. She moved in last winter." I can't believe she never said anything. I spun around. 3 women from my homeroom huddled, pointing discreetly at my partner and Melanie, who were slow dancing like lovers. I swallowed, trying to steady my voice. "Excuse me, what are you talking about?" One of them shook her head. "Oh, honey, you really don't know." The other 2 stared guiltily at their feet. My legs gave way. I sat hard on a folding chair at the edge of the floor. All at once, memories from the last year flooded back. Late nights when he said he was at the office. Texts that he claimed were work stress. That week-long trip he took to visit family in March. I thought he loved me. I thought we had trust. But every trip, every unexplained expense, every phone call he took away from me had been a lie. They all knew. Everyone knew. Everyone but me. I stumbled outside, the cold night air hitting my face like a slap. Tears burned my eyes. I dialed his number again and watched it ring while the reunion party bled through the double doors behind me. Finally, he answered. "Em, what's wrong?" His voice was casual, my voice cracked. "Are you with Melanie?" Silence. "What? Are you 2 sleeping together?" The line went silent for so long that I dropped into a plastic chair on the sidewalk. My phone slipped from my grasp. I watched it on the ground, like it was someone else's life. Minutes later, he found me. He knelt beside me, concern on his face. I pointed through the open door. "You weren't here, you were in there with her." He said, It's not what you think." My heart twisted. "Then explain it to me, please." He ran a hand through his hair. She's just a friend from college." I laughed bitterly. "A friend I never heard of? A friend you never mentioned on our anniversary? A friend who dances slow with you at my reunion?" He stood up, smoothing his jacket. "I have to go." And he walked away, back into the gym, back into the music, back into the arms of the woman I once called my best friend. I stayed outside until the lights went dark. I watched people leave, hugging each other, planning brunches tomorrow. I texted my sister, "Don't come, I'll be fine." I lied, I barely spoke on the drive home. In my bedroom, I found a half-empty bottle of wine and drank until my head spun. Every time I blinked, I saw them together. Every memory of us felt like a lie. I crawled into bed and stared at the ceiling, not sure if I'd ever sleep again. The next morning, my phone pinged with messages from old classmates. "So sorry, Emily, should have told you. If you need anything, I'm here." He's been with her since January. I read them in disbelief, realizing I'd been the last to know. I called Melanie's number, no answer. I called his, voicemail again. I needed answers, but I was shaking too hard to move. By noon, I had enough courage to knock on my partner's office door. He unlocked it, surprised. "Em, what are you doing here?" I stepped inside, the walls closing in. "Why didn't you tell me?" He swallowed, avoiding my eyes. It just happened." "It just happened?" Rage coursed through me. "You lied to me, you lied to everyone." He closed the laptop and stood. "Look, I care about you. I never meant to hurt you." I shook my head. "Care? You care enough to hide her from me, my partner of 6 years. His shoulders slumped. "I was afraid you'd leave me." My breath caught. "Afraid I'd leave you? You were the one sneaking around." Before we continue, we would like to thank all of you who support us by subscribing, liking, and sharing our content. The only appreciation we ask of you is that you subscribe, like, and share this video if you are not yet one of our subscribers. Thank you. I walked out. The rest of the day blurred into a haze of texts, voicemails, voicemail to text messages. I replayed everything he'd said, searching for clues I'd missed. The tension in his voice, the missed dinners, the catch in his eyes when I called his name. I realized how much I'd accommodated. Late nights, business trips, his mood swings. Because I thought I was supporting him, loving him. Instead, I'd been backing away from the truth. That evening, I drove to Melanie's apartment. I knocked on the door, hands trembling. She answered, eyes red, walls bare. She stepped aside wordlessly. Inside, I asked, "Why?" She ran to me and hugged me tight. "I'm so sorry, Em. He told me you were happy." My jaw dropped. "He told you I was happy so you two could keep this secret?" Her tears fell. "We didn't know how. I tried telling you once in February, you brushed it off." I remembered that day. I'd snapped at her for gossiping. "You said I was paranoid," I whispered. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I never wanted to hurt you." I turned away. "You two planned my heartbreak," she whispered. "I loved you both." The betrayal cut deeper than I thought possible. I left without another word. At home, I sat on the couch and let the reality crash over me. My partner had been unfaithful for months, with my best friend, and everyone except me had known. The life I'd built felt like sand slipping through my fingers. I cried until I had no tears left. 2 weeks later, I packed his things into boxes. He tried to stop me. "Emily, please, let's go to counseling." I looked at him, any affection gone. "You had counseling, with her. You planned our divorce in hushed conversations at bars." He reached for me. I pulled back. "Don't." I handed him the final key. "Goodbye." Time passed. Nights I couldn't sleep. Days I walked the neighborhood collecting my thoughts. I realized the betrayal taught me something vital. Love doesn't require hiding. Trust isn't optional. I started therapy, not to fix us, but to heal me. I reconnected with the classmates who'd tried to warn me. We shared stories of denial and self-blame and the relief of finally seeing the truth. 6 months later, I stood in my living room, the walls bare as Melanie's apartment had been. The pain still lingered, but so did my strength. I'd quit my job. He'd been at my company too, and taken a sabbatical to write. I wrote about betrayal, about the courage to face uncomfortable truths, about the power of trusting your instincts even when everyone else seems right. Then, one day, I got a text from a mutual friend I barely knew. Saw him at the new bar downtown, with someone else already. I stared at the message and felt nothing. I realized that's the final lesson. The person who cheats once will cheat again. But me, I was done believing lies. I was done hiding my tears. Most of all, I was done silencing my voice. Sometimes the people we love the most are the ones who teach us our greatest lessons. Mine taught me that self-respect is worth more than any secret. And tonight, as I look back at that high school gymnasium, dim lights, dusty trophies, I know I'm stronger for the truth. Because even the deepest betrayals break open the heart to let in a brighter light.